Hi, I'm David from Kronos Audiovisual, and today on the video review diaries we want to look at a really interesting amplifier. This is the Aavik I-180 integrated amplifier, which is one of three models in the range. Aavik is part of Audio Group Denmark, who manufacture literally a complete system, right through from the isolation devices, the cables, the electronics, the speakers. There are three separate companies. So you have Aavik Electronics, which you'll see the amplifier here. They do Borns and loudspeakers, and they do Anzus products, which apart from cables, network switches, mains products, there are also things like this little fellow here, which you'll see isolates the products called the Darks, and they sit on three ball bearings, which if I just take that off, you can see there. And it means that you can stack the products, which is quite clever. And you'll see that this is this gives you a huge amount of isolation. It's totally decoupled. So it's a really interesting product in its own right. You can use it with other brands, but obviously primarily it's designed with this particular product in mind. Right, so this particular amplifier, the I-180, is the smallest of the three integrated amplifiers that they do. They do them with and without DACs. This particular model is £6,000, so obviously this is not an expensive range of electronics. And they also make a matching DAC and a matching streamer and a matching phono stage, all in the same chassis. The first thing people will see when they look at this amplifier is the chassis is very unusual. It's not metal, it's a composite material. That's important, because these guys believe in removing noise where possible in any form. So, for example, they believe that the chassis itself, the type of chassis they use with a composite material, is much better than metal, and therefore you don't get the ringing effect that you get with metal. This is very dead acoustically. And also, they believe that metal interferes quite a lot with the circuit, whereas this material doesn't. So that's the first thing that's a little bit unusual about the product. Obviously, it's quite compact in size. That's because the products use Class D amplification in the output stage, but they use Class A amplification on the preamp stage. So that's, again, quite an unusual design. This particular amplifier puts out 2x300 watts, so it's very powerful. It can drive almost any loudspeaker with ease. Borson's own loudspeakers are quite inefficient, so the amplifier can drive almost anything that we've tried it with. You'll see when the turntable spins around a little bit on the front of the amplifier, there's a very, very big display screen, which just basically shows you what input you're using, information, shows you the volume control. Big screens are quite nice because you can sit, even from across the room, you can easily see it. You'll see from the back here there are a number of line stage inputs, and there's a pre-out as well. You'll also see a really unusual device just poking out the back here. That's called a shorts. Essentially, this is a very sophisticated type of shorting plug that Anzus, one of Aavik's sister companies, manufacture. What this does essentially is any inputs you've got that you're not using, you can put shorts or shorts plugs into. They call it an anti-aerial resonance device, so it's a very sophisticated form of short and plug, because they believe that all spare outputs act like an aerial, and this essentially helps to remove noise from the circuit. As I said before, Aavik, along with all their brands, they're all about removing noise. So one of the most interesting things about this amplifier is it has in its circuitry a lot of different types of coils, particularly Tesla coils. And that, as you go up into the more expensive amplifiers, they have more and more of the same technology built into the amplifier. The whole idea is to remove noise from the mains, remove noise from within the circuits within the amplifier itself, and remove noise from spare inputs. So everything is about removing noise from the circuit. When you're listening to this amplifier initially, I'm not saying you'll be underwhelmed by it, but it's not an amplifier that reaches up and grabs you by the throat what's really special about this amplifier is the longer you listen to it, the more you appreciate what it's doing. When you listen to music with this amplifier, there is an absolute inky blackness behind the music, and that allows you to hear an awful lot of information that mains noise and other types of noise would mask. So the more you listen to the amplifier, the more you appreciate what it's doing. And that's something that's really important when you're demonstrating the amplifier to people, and when people are listening to it. You need to listen to it for a reasonably long period of time to understand exactly what it's doing. When you do understand what it's doing, it means that vocals, instruments are so much more natural in the way that they're reproduced. And the more you listen to the Aavik amplifiers, the more you realize just how good they actually are. So I think that's really important to explain that to people, that you almost have to rethink the way you listen, so that you understand what the amplifier is actually achieving. When you do that, I think you'll be really excited about this whole range of products, not just the amplifier, but their streamer, their DAC, their phone receiver. They all have the same technology built in, and you can upgrade from this model to the next model. They're all in exactly the same size chassis, so you can not only stack the components together, but if you want to upgrade from this to the 280 or the 580 amplifier, it's exactly the same size, and that's a nice upgrade path to make. Like all our products, these are available on up to 36 months interest-free credit, which makes it a lot more affordable to a lot of people. If you get the opportunity, I really urge you to have a listen to this whole range of products. These guys are doing something really unique with noise cancellation, and I think when you hear it, when you understand what they're doing, you can actually hear other products. You can hear that there's noise behind the music, and when you listen to these products, it's not simply not there, and that allows you, as I said before, to hear all sorts of micro details and things you just weren't even aware of. So, as I say, if you get the opportunity, please do have a listen to both these. You can use the isolation devices and the source plugs in almost any product, and they have a remarkable effect on the sound quality. So even if you don't want to buy the amplifier, some of the other products that they make are the same. Their cables are very similar as well from ANSUS. Again, all designed to reduce noise. Even their loudspeakers are designed to reduce noise because of how they're manufactured. Audio Group Denmark, we believe, is way ahead of the curve in a lot of the things that they're doing. So, as I say, if you get the opportunity, please do come into the stores and have a listen. I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you for listening.